marijuana is grown in every state in the Union. Recently, in the city of Brooklyn, New York, a field of marijuana was found behind a tenement court. The weed was here being cultivated, regularly stripped and dried and sold in schools and at government army posts in and around New York. The dried leaves and berries are ground up and made into cigarettes by a simple hand machine. The deadly narcotic is thus quickly and easily prepared for its market.
Hi, this is Steve Kubby with Kubby TV, Pot TV, Cannabis Culture, and I'd like to talk to you today about the lies that are continually told, perpetuated, and repeated about cannabis and people who use cannabis. First of all, there's this notion that cannabis itself is somehow dangerous, that it has to be regulated and accounted for from, quote, seed to sale, that only people who are licensed, people who have no criminal record, people who can jump through a whole long list of special hoops can be allowed to grow, use, or sell cannabis. This is nonsense. This is a healing herb that helps people. It should be as available as possible to people. And the notion that it needs to be treated like plutonium is a lie that is perpetuated by people who have a monetary vested interest in keeping this plant illegal and keeping people in cages who use this plant. This has to stop. Now let me give you another lie, the workplace lie, the lie that cannabis is so dangerous that people who use it are a threat to the workplace. Where is there one shred of scientific evidence to support this lie? There isn't. In fact, to the contrary, virtually every study that has been done on this has shown that cannabis people are better employees, have less sick days, get more promotions, and are better liked by their fellow employees. And if you don't believe me, look up a Utah Power and Light study where they singled out anyone that they had reason to believe or know used cannabis, and they studied them to see what profile they could develop to help them identify other marijuana users. And here's the profile that they found best fit their employees that use cannabis. They get less sick days, they have more promotions, they are better liked by their fellow employees. And why would this be? Well, if you look at the employees that don't use cannabis, they typically use alcohol. They typically go out after work and use alcohol. They come home inebriated. The wife is not happy about their behavior. The family is dysfunctional. The husband shows up the next day with a hangover. In contrast, the cannabis person is clear-headed and ready to work. So the notion that people have to be tested for cannabis is ridiculous. If anything, the test should be a confirmation that they're less likely to have all of the associated dysfunctional problems and violence that we find with people who binge drink or go drinking after work with the guys and stay out late until night. So this notion, again, is another lie. Let's look at another lie that's perpetuated by the drug warriors, that cannabis people are a danger to society once they get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's a lie. The studies by our own government, National Highway Safety and Transportation Board, have all found that people who use cannabis only are in fact safer drivers than people who use no drugs at all. And if you check out my book, Why Marijuana Should Be Legal, which I wrote with Ed Rosenthal, you'll find the study cited, you'll find the statistics you'll find other studies that all support what I'm telling you. So when you're at a party, when you're at the workplace, when you're having Thanksgiving dinner, and you hear one of these lies being repeated, stand up for yourself, stand up for your fellow cannabis users, and tell that person, ask that person politely to stop lying about cannabis, and tell them, I'm sorry, but what you just said is a lie. And the truth of the matter is that it's just the opposite. Well, this has been Steve Kubby stirring the pot and wishing you a great 420 day.
Of what I hope to be, the weight so heavy where I stand, the indecision builds within my twisted